Okay, so welcome back to another edition of the opinions. Today on opinions, we're going to look at Derrick. Is it Derrick Chauvin, the man who plunged America into a period of riots and other stuff. Well, I said him, but yeah, his actions did. So yeah, it's him. But yeah, let's look at the man. And even as of yesterday, when I was still thinking that, well, it's a clear case, he's guilty. I still, at the very end of last night, when I was going to sleep, was kind of thinking, wow, you'd be surprised that it will come out and the jury would have found him not guilty. And that is how America has become, and now suddenly the America that we know, the normal is not even the normal anymore. But great. So you know how sometimes fate works. So fate worked in such a way that, look at the two people, George Floyd and Derrick Chauvin. So fate worked in such a way that Derrick, who did the bad thing, whose name should have rather been probably more popular or more famous around the world, didn't. That didn't happen. The one that was rather on the receiving end, the one that was killed, who was George Floyd, his name, as fate would have it, was the one that became global and went everywhere. And he is the face that is bringing a bit of change to America as we see it now. But the question is, for me, mainly, the main question though is that when would the next one be coming? When would the next Floyd be coming? George Floyd be coming? Because we've seen it over and over and over in America. Yeah, this one ends, and then it won't be long. It won't be long. The next one will come. It will be another police brutality, another police killing, another police shooting down someone, another black person in their home, like Breonna Taylor and all of those other people. So the real question is that, have we learned any lessons? Have things changed? When is the next one going to come? How long do we have to wait before the next one comes? Has anything really changed in America? And for me, the answer is no, because it won't be long and the next one will come. Why was George Floyd a big thing? And we all know that it was because we were all in isolation for a very, very long period. And then that happened, and it gave people the opportunity to come out on the streets. And that is what really made the impact in both America and the rest of the world. So if not for COVID, thanks to COVID, no matter how we hated COVID gave us a good way to come on the streets to show our unhappiness at whatever happened to George Floyd. But like I said, a combination of fate and other things have ensured that. But then look at Chauvin, sat in there. He had called on his Fifth Amendment rights to not even give any evidence. But I would have really loved for him to at least help the world, tell the world what actually happened, because I know he was doing his job, but the extent to which he went showed a bit that he probably knew the guy, and we know they had worked for the same companies, or maybe a security company, or as security when George Floyd was security, and maybe they had come into contact a few times. But was that the reason why he had gone that far? Was that just doing his work in the line of duty? We could never know, and he would have probably helped us a bit just to know what kind of man he is. But hey, that was his right, and he decided not to talk. So we'll just leave it to him. He can take it. At least he's not dead. So he's not taking it to his grave. George is dead, so whether they knew each other or not, we wouldn't know, because Chauvin wouldn't tell us anything. But if he's lucky, he only gets 12 years, 12 and a half years. Although they've said the prosecutor may be pushing for the maximum of 40 years. I doubt that might happen. I doubt it at all. Although the charges were a lot. I think there were 3 charges that were brought against him. But I still think he will get away with the bare minimum. Ideally, you wouldn't want to see people doing their jobs when things go wrong, for them to be punished like that. But it happens all the time with other other occupations like nurses, doctors. They are always on the receiving end when things go wrong, when they give a patient a wrong drug or a wrong injection or something. They always either lose their jobs. They are normally entangled in long processes for their innocence to be proven. So the thing that the whole of America, for instance, you can count the number of police officers who have been charged and have actually been found guilty for murdering people in their custody or when they are doing their job. I think it's a way forward. In the whole of Minneapolis, for instance, according to the news, there is only one person who has ever been charged like that, who has ever been found guilty for killing another person, and he was I think they said he was a Muslim police, an American Muslim police officer or something. So I need to read a bit more on that one, but yeah, that is strange. So the real question then is when is the next one coming? When is the next Breonna Taylor coming? When is the next George Floyd coming? When is the next killer Chauvin coming? And it will happen. Of late, we've just seen in the news a lieutenant in the army and his treatment in the hands of some police officers. And the funny thing about the American police is always that there may be 3 or 4 of them, and one person would really be the one going for it and committing the atrocity. But then the rest of them would just be stood at the back and just be watching. And they're always like caught in that episode of bystander, or in that disease of bystanderism, where they just stand there and it's almost like they fall into a trance. So if you watch the video, for instance, of that lieutenant, you could see that this police officer who was really shouting at the lieutenant was calm. He's a soldier. He's wearing a uniform. And this policeman, I don't know, man. But then it's always so plain and obvious. If it was the opposite, if it was a white soldier, this police officer always wouldn't do that. But for some reason, I don't know why they are so scared that a black person might do something to them. In that video, with all the shouting, he was shouting, and this guy was so calm and telling him, "Yeah, I'm a lieutenant." And he was then pepper spraying him in his car. You're asking someone to come out of the car and you're still pepper spraying him. I think ultimately the guy came out. But then the bystanderism, the disease that I was talking about, you could then see almost the guy doing the actual thing was fairly old. But then you could then see the youngster stood behind who was just watching on and couldn't really do anything. Could I don't know, can't they just get involved and just say to whoever it is, whether it's a superior or what, to say, okay, I've got this, let me try my way as well and see if it works. Yeah. So imagine if this soldier guy, a black soldier, lieutenant, an officer for that matter, has committed a crime, a traffic offense or anything, and you just spoke to him as what do you call it? 2 men of uniform, and you talk to him and tell him, yeah, this is what I think you've done. Could you step out of the car? You don't have to say please, because you are in authority at that moment. It's your line of work. If you then ask him politely to say, oh, come out and let's sort this out, he would have obliged easily and come out. But then they always feel that need to. But it's not surprising, because in most precincts, I know definitely. You know, sometimes when I talk, people think I'm just saying things. But I know that in most precincts, they discuss, these white police officers, they discuss that, oh, today, which black person are we going to rough up? Or let's go and do a count on our kills. We'll see who kills a lot more. And these things are happening in America. And they know it, and they sometimes do say themselves that, yeah, when I was in the force, that's what we used to do. We used to go out to find black people to rough up. And the question then is, have we learned any lesson from this? Or when is the next Floyd going to happen? And like I said, it will happen pretty soon, unless America sits up and does something really, really big about this. Man, I still can't believe it. How many years ago did what do you call it? Did slavery end? How many years ago did the fight for freedom started, and why are we still in this modern age, in this age of internet, in this age of technology, are we still talking about the same things that happened like hundreds of years ago? You're talking about I just don't get it. But what was nice though was President Joe Biden calling the family after the verdict to sympathize with them and to wish them well, because it was really, really nice. I think that was the nicest move I've ever seen throughout this case. We all know how Trump handled the whole issue. He didn't help at all. He didn't do anything to lay the fears of Americans. He just inflamed it. So I was really, really, really happy with Mr. Biden. It was clear and humane. He showed a lot of humanity there. Just speaking to the family, giving them heart, that they know it's not bring the boy back. Man, when I saw a picture of mom and George as a young boy, and the fact that they said he doted on his mom as well, it was more painful to think that because of $20, which even if it was fake, man, why would you kill someone over $20? And the question then is, when Chauvin left home that day, was he looking at killing? Was it just accidental? Because you were kneeling on someone's head, his neck, and he was telling you that I can't breathe. He wasn't even looking at the person's face. He was posing for the cameras. Man, it was shocking. And the question then is, if there were no videos of that crime, would he had been sentenced today? So we thank God that it happened. Things sometimes happens for a reason. We just hope that America can bring some real change to that country, because May is the #1 country in the world, and we look up to them. We shun the Chinese, we shun the Russians, we shun the North Koreans because of America, and because we think America is the #1. We accept them gladly as the class prefects of the world. Everything that they tell us, we swallow them. Every pill that they give us, we swallow them. So if they cannot really sort out their own home, and most of us are glad that Trump is now out of the way. So hopefully America can do some good building up. The fact though is that I just don't get it. That when are Americans going to realize that the land doesn't belong to anyone? It doesn't belong to the whites. It doesn't belong to the black. The real owners of America are there. They were pushed to the side. The whites moved in. They then brought blacks in. And then the maltreatment has continued since. And for how long it's going to continue, I don't know. But they need to start sending strong warnings to people. Not only that, of late, in the videos, you saw the police on a black soldier. Then you saw a video as well of a young black boy in the hands of a supposed American soldier. This big, tall guy, bullying, picking up on this young, small black boy, and his wife also there in the background yelling and stuff. What did they say? Egging her husband on to do more damage to the guy. And in all of these cases, these black guys are all matured in their response, and they were nice and quiet in the way they reacted. They didn't really give the guys any reason to maltreat them, and we could all see it in the videos. So we are glad that now technology is gone very, very far, and we can have videos put out there, and then we can call out these people and see them. So we saw that soldier. He's a big coward. He should be in war, Iraq or Afghan, fighting and helping, bring peace into those parts. He's rather at home, comfortable on a pavement with no slippers on, in shorts, and he's enjoying and he's bullying a young chap. Man, I remembered just recently I was doing a video for one of my opinions outside of my home. A white middle-aged man walked up because I was stood next to a boat, or I was stood in front of a house, and he was thinking, well, what's that black guy doing in this neighborhood? He couldn't probably own that house, or he couldn't live in that house. So he came all the way to look at me And then once he realized that, oh, my garage was open, and I was stood right in front of my garage with my car parked in the garage, he then went away. He physically, he came all the way. It was a T junction. He came all the way into our line. Our line is the one that goes to meet for it to become a T. He was walking from the line. He came all the way into the T to look at me, realized I was stood in front of my open garage, and then he started walking back onto the T to go his way. I intentionally then said hello to him, but unfortunately for me, by the time I did that, I had paused my video because I didn't want him to appear in my video to spoil my flow. But then I wish I had kept in my video, so I would then say, because I was pretty much speaking similarly on, well, it wasn't similarly on racism or racist stuff, so I couldn't really had linked him that time. But I could actually, I still left him in there to just call him out, to say, look at that man. He's seen a black man. And that happened, I think, a day after the video had come out of the black boy being bullied by the police, by the soldier. Yeah, so he was going away. I paused my video and I said to him, I said hello to him. I said, hey, hello, how are you? How are you doing today? And then he replied, was like, oh, good. Is that your boat? I said to him, no, that's not my boat, but that's my neighbor's. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? And then I made fun of it. I made light of it. And then he went his way. But these are the sort of things. Stop those things. You know, stop picking up black people. You've oppressed us for too long. You have everything. And most black people live in Africa and other places have nothing. So what else do you want from them? You've taken their dignity in times of slavery. You've been killing them since then, and you still want some more of it. Well, they are like a sport to you. You're tired of killing animals, like going into Africa and doing the big game shoots. You are now using black people as a big game shoot. It is just sad, and we need to grow up as people and move forward. And it has to start with America. Once America uproots that evil, then the whole world will follow suit, because America, as we know, as we envisage come 2020, 2030, we still want to see America as a world power. We don't want the Chinese as world powers. The Chinese are a dictatorship. The Russians are a dictatorship. We don't want them as world leaders. We want a free country to still be able to lead us going into those. But then for a free country to be able to do that, you need to sort out your home first. So we are glad that there is a new president now who is a Democrat, who will take the country the right way and do the normal things, you know, not make life complicated. So yeah, this is where I end this on Chauvin's case. Like I said, he's the man who plays America into a big turmoil. But then as fate would have it, his name is not popular enough. His name doesn't rhyme. His name is not memorable. His name is not rememberable. So fate made it a case that he shouldn't be remembered, and it's true. So no one will remember him. If you were to ask me, if not for this case, I'd forgotten his name, but then everyone would still remember George's name, George Floyd's name. So we shouldn't let it be in vain. We should work on things to make things better for America and for the young. I remembered traveling into America myself. The first time I traveled to any country in my life was straight to America, and I worked in a summer camp in upstate New York near Dutchess County. And every time I think I was going to a summer camp around that time, and every morning the summer camp would drop me off at there was a bus station, and I'll take the Leprechaun bus that would take me into White Plains, and then I would get a combination of bus and train to the Bronx. And most mornings when I'm dropped off at the bus stop in upstate New York to get the Leprechaun bus, the shops around there would call the police on me. And every time the police came, I was a naive young man who had traveled out of his country, of his small country, and for the first time I'd found myself in America. I never thought anything about it. I never knew what blacks were going through in America. But every time the police came, there wouldn't be one, there would be two or three. And every time they came and they asked me a question, and I went to show them like my pass or anything, straight away one of them would go reaching for their gun. And then always, man, God was wonderful. God was wonderful, because as naive as I was, every time they came, I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is where I've come from. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to get on the Leprechaun bus to go to White Plains. I've got all my ticket. Can I show you? And then I would reach straight into my pocket or my bag to show them. And then one would just go and reach his pistol. And then probably the one then talking to me will be like, oh, you wait. If we need you to show us anything, I'll let you know. And then they will check everything will check out, and then they will go. But they came so often. And then every time they came, it might be a different person. But then most times it will be the same person. And then the same thing will repeat itself. And then I was then kind of like thinking, but you guys have been coming every day. You know my routine now. You know that I get dropped off here. Why do you still do the same thing? But then one of them was nice, I guess. He would then tell me, oh, I know you now. There's no need for you to show me anything. But then you know what? It's just the stores around. They keep calling on you, and our bosses keep sending us to come and see who it is. So we have to come and do our job. And since then, since I've grown up now, I've realized how lucky I was that time. And I've always thanked God that he kept me, because man, I'm my mom's firstborn, man. There are younger ones that I take care of and I do stuff for. So imagine if these guys had ended up killing me. It would have been just another case of, an African boy visited the States to go summer camping, and he's been shot and killed for no reason. And they would probably had lied that I probably had a gun or I had drugs on me. And I was so naive, young man. I didn't know anything. I didn't know that was what America was. All I knew about America was what I'd seen in the movies, and you know, I knew that America was the place to be, the land of the what do you call it? But hey, man, let's all do the right things, man. Let's learn to do the right things. Let's just learn to do the right things. It doesn't take much. What would you gain from hurting another person because of their color? What would you gain from hurting a black man, sitting on his neck just because he's black, when you wouldn't sit on a white person's head when you go to arrest them? What is it? What do you want us to do? I mean, do you want a black person living in America to like the soldier to just kneel down and bow down to you to say, okay, this is me, please don't arrest me, or please don't kill me? I just don't know. If that is what you want us to do, just say it. Come out boldly and say it. So in the case of that lieutenant, for instance, he could have then come out of the car and gone straight on his knees to say, officer, what do you need me to do? Should I lie down? But something, man, it needs to stop. I'm just saying that when are we waiting for the next George Floyd case to happen? We need to stop it. And hopefully this charge would now send a strong warning to other police officers and the bystanders. The bystanders are the ones that surprise me. So they stand there and they look at the one perpetrating the crime, and they just look at him and they can't say anything. Man, just talk to them. If you tap them on the shoulder and they don't want to listen, then at least the whole world will see in the videos that you tried something, but they were heated and they didn't want to listen to you. But they just stand there and they look at the people, and most often they would rather have their hand on their pistol as if they were trying to protect the one committing the crime. Okay, this is where I end another episode. I've ranted on for too long. On opinions, we like to keep it real. We like to say the real stuff. We like to stick with the facts. We don't like to say to do hearsays and say other stuff that we don't believe in. Let's all keep doing the right things. Let's keep moving the world forward. Let's make the world a better place, so young ones coming would enjoy it. Let the world be one place. But remember, if you're a criminal, your crimes will catch up to you and you will be sentenced to jail. Hopefully he spends a long time in jail. So, I know his wife left him at the time. Hopefully the kids are okay. It's not easy. They will now know that their father is a murderer. These are the things I would like people to think about when they commit offenses. But this is where we end another episode on opinions. If you like what you are listening and you would like to add your comments to it, comments down there. Leave us some comments. Like I said, you never know who is reading. People will read and they will change them. But kudos to all around the world doing the right things. Yeah, I know what they say. I know they say the good die young. So don't do you can do a few bad things, but not the ones that will hurt other people, you know. But like I said, what are the 3 vices in the world? Smoking, drinking, and womanizing. Yeah, choose one, but make sure it doesn't affect other people. Yeah, choose one of them. But make sure your actions are not affecting other people. If you drink, don't drive. If you smoke, you know, weed or something, don't drive. Don't go out and just stay at home. Be irate, you know. Yeah. How do you say it? Irate. Yeah. And just enjoy yourself. Just stay in your garden, you know, lay down, look at the skies and feel best, you know, feel good. But yeah, don't let your actions affect other people. All right. Okay. Stay positive.